Season Change Finding Your Fire, a weekly podcast with Meena Puri, an Ayurvedic practitioner and spiritual teacher who brings the ancient, time-tested wisdom of Ayurveda in this time of great upheaval and global ascension to inspire you to the next level of your spiritual evolution. She will discuss all topics related to your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Are you ready to be free of all suffering and soar to your heart's calling? Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I am so delighted to be here with you today. I'm Meena Puri of Ayurvedic Healing Center. I am located in Toronto, but I serve clients from all over the world thanks to Zoom. So today, the topic that comes to my mind is chronic illness. The reason that topic comes to my mind is because with the seasonal change, whatever there whatever imbalances are there in the body, they begin to show up. So you may notice, again, a little bit more excessive level of fatigue, maybe the colds and chronic flu symptoms have come up. Maybe if you suffer from arthritis, things like that, you may feel more of that during the change of season. So the seasonal changes remind us that what we did in summer may not be useful for us to do in winter as we are approaching winter. So we can, it takes a level of awareness for us to change how we live as the seasons change. So the topic of chronic illness, let's do this. So if you were to take a moment and think about those people you live with, your family members that you live with, okay? Then, and think about all the health complaints that they may be having, whether it is their physical health, their mental health. So the complaints can look like, I just don't have the energy. I didn't sleep well. I have a headache. My stomach hurts. And there's always the continuous arguments or conflicts going on, whether it's their close relationships or friends or neighbors or work situations. Now, draw that circle a little bigger and just look around to the people that you hang out with, your friends, your close friends, and see how many people around you are complaining about health issues. When I talk about health issues, I'm talking about health issues of the body and of the mind. So this lack of motivation, this low-grade anxiety, fear of something, feeling physical symptoms without any medical diagnosis, and just not having enough energy to live well from day to day. Now draw that circle onto your neighbors, to your kids' school and the other parents. And you could be sitting in a movie theater or in a concert. Since we are doing that these days, you could be going in a park, and just if you happen to tune into the conversation of a group. The point that I'm trying to make, that when we look around, the chronic health issues are so prevalent that we have taken that to be a norm. And another thing that we think is a norm is that as we get older, so we think that it's common. It's totally common, it's natural for you to have at least one or two medical diagnoses and be on some kind of a medication. So here's, a little list of the chronic illnesses. So diabetes, heart issues, arthritis, skin issues, digestive issues, sleep issues, lack of motivation, lack of direction, anxiety, low grade anxiety, continuous fear, a state of being overwhelmed. Um, and we can keep adding on to the list, but you get the point. So, what are chronic conditions? What is a chronic illness? Is that state of our body and our mind that comes in the way of better quality of our life. It impedes our day-to-day functioning. It drains our energy to do even the simple tasks that we want to do. We get fatigued easily, but there's really nothing is wrong. Nothing terribly is wrong that's going to kill you, but life isn't working the way you would like it to be. So I think if we were to ask in a room full of people, almost every hand will go up when it comes to having some kind of a physical or mental or emotional ailment. So the truth is, from time to time, we are going to get sick. If you're joining, I would love to know where you're joining from. From moment to moment, from time to time, actually, we are going to get physically sick. From time to time, we are going to get anxious. Time to time, we may get angry. We may feel like, what am I doing? What am I doing this for? This isn't going anywhere, and we have to rethink. So I am not referring to that as a condition of living a human life. From time to time, that physically or mentally we're not going to feel well. I'm talking about when this is a continuous state of you experiencing your life. So that's why the term chronic illness. And acute illnesses, cancer is an acute illness many times because it's life-threatening. And once you get to that stage, many times the medications or surgeries is what is needed. But I think that all acute conditions were chronic to begin with, unless you have an accident and you break a leg. So all acute conditions were chronic at some point. When we don't tune in and don't pay attention for a long time until it becomes acute, we are left with less opportunities or less options for us. We have to go this certain route, the medication route or the surgery route. So how do we solve this predicament that we are in, that we don't wake up until we get really, really sick? The reason why we don't wake up is because we are not used to thinking about, we're not used to tuning into our body and actually questioning and having a thought about it. Many times we just kind of schlep along, lifeless, energyless, with a little ache and pain, with a little annoyance here and there. And like I mentioned before, we take this to be the norm. But put aside the norm, whether it's a norm or not, the question is, how do you feel about it? The question is, how does it feel to be living for the next 10 years and 20 years without the full energy, without the clarity, without the vitality that you can have? How does it feel? Life becomes hard. Life becomes like a burden, Many people who are older, they're like, getting old sucks. So they believe what they're experiencing in their mind and body is a result of old age. My thought is that it's a result of old age when we are not understanding how to age. When we haven't taken care of ourselves, it's going to show up in our old age. But there's something called aging disease-free or just aging by default. And I think without the tools and the proper knowledge, we end up aging by default and just having it just becomes continuous, appointments, visits to the doctors, the specialists, the medications, the test, and whatnot. That's what many, many older people spend a big chunk of their time doing. The question is that what you want to do? And that actually is not the truth. It is not a function of old age. It's a result of us not taking care of ourselves well before we get old. So disease just does not show up. It's in the making and we don't see it, right? We don't see it until it shows up on the body. So we think, I was all healthy and all of a sudden this happened. That is really not the truth. That is not the truth, provided we may not know what the truth is, but the truth is not that disease just came out of nowhere. So you get my point of the chronic illnesses. So when we have chronic illness, to take a pill or a surgery or go that Western medicine route, it can manage that illness. You may need to take medication for diabetes, for your heart issues, but it's not necessarily going to prevent it from getting worse in the future. When we treat every illness as acute condition, we over-medicate. We literally over-medicate, and the patient is left with side effects of the medication and dependency on the medication, when many of these conditions could have been easily solved by lifestyle changes. So this leads me to talk about, Ayurveda. So Ayurvedic medicine, it's a medicine that teaches you how to live, which means how to eat, how to live during the day, at nighttime, how to keep your mind calm, your body healthy, your soul happy. That's this medicine in simple words. So instead of managing disease, which Western medicine is phenomenal at, and we need that. If we have waited so long, then we do need the Western medication. So there's no dogma about Western medicine or Eastern medicine. This is not a comparison. This is not one better than the other. It's about you understanding as to what is going on with you and what may be most useful. So in Ayurvedic medicine is known for preventing disease. Rather, it is known for creating vitality at the deepest level, so your mind, body, and soul is aligned and happy and peaceful. So Ayurveda is a medicine for mind, body, and soul. It's a huge topic. It's a big umbrella, and it's that the wisdom is very deep, and it's an ancient science and wisdom over 6,000 years old. So in Ayurveda, there are 4 pillars of health. One is sleep, second is digestion, third is purification, and fourth is meditation. So let's talk about actually digestion first, because this is like the engine for the body. So the best way to know what is going on with your health, to bring awareness to it, is take a piece of paper and pen and make a chart for 7 to 10 days. Write down every day physically how you're feeling, mentally how you're feeling, at the soul level, if you're able to connect to that, how you're feeling. Do the math. Many times we think that, I'm healthy, because we really don't know what healthy means. So we think, well, it's okay. I'm 60 some years old. Of course, I'm going to be tired. We give all kinds of logical reasons, but it's not the real reason. So write down, do a little inventory of your health. How are you feeling physically? What are you experiencing from day to day? How are you feeling mentally? What kind of thoughts are you entertaining on a day-to-day basis? What is it that you really feel in your mind? Do you really feel content, soul level? Do you feel aligned? Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel happy? Do you feel you're doing what you're here to do? So take an inventory for 10 days. After 10 days, take a look. It'll reveal it to you, the state of your health on every level. And then we are getting somewhere. Then at least we're being really honest with ourselves instead of making believe and not understanding what feeling well can look like. So the 4 pillars of health, let's talk about digestion first. So how are you going to tune into your digestion, whether it is poor or not? Most people know if they have a poor digestion because they get easy symptoms like they feel bloating, they feel flatulence, they feel there's constipation, they're not able to have a bowel movement easily, and they just feel heavy. They feel heavy after eating, and the digestion is very much for them is affected by the mind. Anxiety and digestion are closely related. So, that's a separate topic altogether, but digestion problems are not just the physical problems, there also are mental problems. So take a look. So answer these questions as to how your digestion is. Many people know that their digestion isn't well. Many times when the digestion isn't running well, it's going to show up on the skin. And it can show up in many number of ways. Actually, poor digestion is a link, is a denominator in so many medical diagnoses. But for some people, it can show up as acne, as skin conditions. Also disturbs their sleep. So how is your digestion? Second, let's talk about the sleep. Are you having EMA, early morning awakening, or you're having difficulty falling asleep? Many people have sleep disturbance due to frequent urination. Women who are going through menopause, there's a temperature change that affects their sleep. So how is your sleep? How is your sleep really? Not how everyone's around you is sleep. Are you, when you wake up, do you feel rested? You will know. And so is that the area where you may need help with? And the third is purification. When the digestion is working well, is actually the purification, the detoxification is built in. But we have come to the point where we have really messed up our digestion by how we're eating and what we are eating. And secondly, all the environmental pollutants. The food is chemicalized. That's a big factor. So purification is needed. So purifying the body at springtime and fall time to cleanse the body. It's wonderful to let go of the impurities from the prior season. So when we are purifying, we're purifying the body of what is not needed, and we are creating health. So that's a pillar of health, to be able to purify. Fourth is meditation. Meditation is not a luxury anymore. All the mental unrest and the mental health issues that we are facing, many of them, if not all, can be cured by learning a meditation practice. So, and the truth is there is a lot of information available. You can go to YouTube, you can look at guided meditations and all kinds of things. And you have to ask whether having so many options is overwhelming, is more a problem than it's a solution. When we are given so many options and there's so much we can do, the confusion leads us to not doing anything at all, right? So that's why a meditation technique is very helpful. I teach heart-based meditation. It's an audio, it's a free download that you can download and simply have a meditation practice. That can be your basis. So think of the meditation practice as taking a shower to clean your body. You're taking a shower to clean your nervous system. When we are meditating, we are resting our physiology and psychology deeply. We are regulating our nervous system. We are no longer overwhelmed or constantly anxious. So it's a skill that is needed, is a must. When we talk about awareness and consciousness, you cannot gain a higher level of consciousness without any practices to cultivate that consciousness. And meditation is that practice. So take a look at, ask yourself this question, where do I need help? Is my sleep is messed up? Is my digestion messed up? Is my body full of toxins? And most people know when the body is filled with toxins, you're going to have low energy, lethargy, weight gain, foggy thinking, easily irritated. So many symptoms like that can show up. So you may need to do a cleanse. And meditation. Do you have a meditation practice? You don't have to do the one that I teach, but do you have one that works for you, right? So the reason why I emphasize on the technique that I use, because it's mantra based. It's not a make-believe, like you listen to nice guided meditation, which are wonderful, but it is a tool. Mantra is a tool because it goes deeper into your physiology, all the way to your nervous system. That's where your experiences are stored and the trauma is stored. So when we are using the mantra to meditate, we are actually releasing and healing those experiences. So where do you need help? Many times people who have those with chronic illness, there's always a question, is this hereditary? Did your father or mother have this? And, it's a common question that I ask my patients all the time. But I really do have to wonder that it's not that we don't have genetic lines that makes us maybe predisposed to a certain condition. It's like your tendencies. But I think it's our belief that we are going to get the same illness that our ancestors did that creates it. Beliefs become things. Belief is energy. Everything happens at an energetic level before it can ever happen in the body. So that brings me to so it's just really about raising the level of your awareness, what chronic illnesses of the mind and body you may be experiencing, and looking at the 4 pillars of health: digestion, sleep, detoxification or purification, and meditation, and where you may need help. So I'm going to now share with you the opportunities that you have. First opportunity is I have created this membership program. It's called Mind, Body, Soul Membership Program, where most people can have access to these tools, wisdom, and tips that they can apply on their daily basis without having to understand anything. So how this program works, you meet with me on Zoom 3 times a month, first, second, and fourth Tuesday of the month. First Tuesday, we're going to do mind focus, which is going to include, mind control, mind awareness, meditations, reflection exercises, how to really keep the mind in a direction that you want to go. Second week is body focus. I'm going to share with you all the Ayurvedic nutrition, how you can begin to eat healthy, one step at a time, one tip at a time. We may even have some online cooking demonstrations for you to get a better handle on how to cook better for yourself. You'll get to know what your constitution is, what your tendencies may be, and where you need help. And the fourth Tuesday is going to be soul focus. It's really tuning into how to find that inner healer within you, your inner guidance, your how to develop the intuition, how to know whether how to transform the emotions, how to heal, and how to feel happy and fulfilled and contentment. So I'm going to share with you what you most need from me. In that sense, you get to email me the topics that are interested to you. First half an hour is I'm going to be sharing all that I can share with you on that particular lens, like mind, body, or soul. The next 30 minutes is for you. You can ask questions where I can answer you. So you can walk away with at least one, if not two things every session that you can begin to do. You continue to implement those tools in your life until they become a habit, until they become a lifestyle, and then you get to move on to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. So you go as far as you want to go, as deep as you would like to go. There's going to be a community of other members. You make use of the community as much as you like. The community support is there. You support one another, you inspire one another, and you come there to be inspired. So that program is very cost effective, very accessible. All of the teachings will be recorded. So you have access to the recordings that you can use in case you have to miss a session. And more than that, you get to email me your questions, and I will be sure to address those questions in the sessions. And if you're in the US, joining from the US, it's $50 a month. For Canadians, it's $65 a month. So the link will be provided below this video. Take a look at the link. If you have any questions, let me know. Second opportunity is there's a retreat coming up in October in Toronto, specifically in Brighton, Ontario. Especially if you live in the Ontario region, it'll be very easy for you to get to. Why do we retreat? Until we take the time, we carve away the time to just be with ourselves, the awareness is not going to be there as to what's going on with us. So the retreat is where you do carve away the weekend of October 13 to 16. You get gourmet, Ayurvedic, vegetarian meals. It's in the countryside. There's a lot of nature. We're going to be doing meditation practices. I'm going to be sharing a lot of other teachings that may be relevant. We're going to be understanding how to heal our emotions, how to heal the mind, how to find our truth, how to align with the truth, and what is it that we are wanting in our life so we can feel fulfilled. So this is a 3-day retreat from Thursday to Sunday. I will put the link there too. Without the retreat, we are continuously caught up in the daily busyness of life, and we really never get the time. Whatever time, we never really get the time. So imagine taking a weekend away where you're getting a really good, nourishing food, where you're away from the buzzing world that's around us in the countryside. You get guidance on what you need to do. You get expert guidance. I'm going to bring my 35 years of experience for you so you can also begin to heal on every level. So this retreat is a post-pandemic retreat to heal, to connect, to grow. So if you're interested in that, there's still time to register. The link is going to be below the video. And if you are suffering with chronic illnesses, and are interested in preventing future illness and are interested in or and curious as to what is it that you can do to get rid of these chronic symptoms on the mind and the body that you experience, then I invite you to schedule a complimentary consultation with me. The link will also be below the video. So with that, I hope that this was useful for you. If tell me one takeaway, if there was a takeaway for you. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions. You can just put them in the comment section. And so be sure to like the video, share if you feel called, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. More people subscribe, it makes it accessible to more people. That's just how the online stuff works. So thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. Thank you for listening to Igniting Change, Finding Your Fire. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and we look forward to being with you next week.